10 assists. And here we are with Jay Will, the Jay from KJZ, ESPN Radio every morning. Okay, what are the right things to say about that virtuoso performance from Kevin Durant last night?
He's a singularity. That's the best single performance in a game I've seen in Kevin Durant's career. I mean, 49 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists. He can get to anywhere he wants to go on the court. And here's what I said at the beginning of the year, Greeny, about Kevin Durant. When you witness him playing, Stephen Curry is probably one of the best tickets in basketball. But the Barclays Center for KD is a polished version of Rucker Park. It feels like you're watching street ball, but the most beautiful aspect of it, because the way he looks at all these individual matchups, if that's PJ Tucker, if that's Chris Middleton, if that's not Giannis guarding him the entire fourth quarter, this is who Kevin Durant is. He was the best player in the world in 2019. He still is the best player in the world, proving that each and every possession last night in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, there feels like to me like there was something legacy reshaping about this performance last night, because so much of KD's legacy, and he is and has been a great player, but has been about some of the questions that have come along with the greatness. Last night, he left no questions. I feel like last night's game, particularly if they go deep into these playoffs and maybe go all the way to the championship, I feel like last night's game could be a legacy reshaping performance.
He had 49 points on 23 shots.
Yeah.
Like, I would be curious where this ranks if this is a top 5 NBA playoff performance because of the efficiency. And by the way, all the pressure was on this guy coming into the game. You know, James Harden out there with one leg pretty much playing like me. Jeff Green obviously played extremely well. Blake Griffin give you some points in the third quarter. But you knew when it came down the stretch, the ball was going to be in the hands of the Slim Reaper.
All right, before we get to other matters, you said you had 3 other things you saw last night.
There are 3 things that I can't believe I saw. Number 1, Coach Bud, what the hell are we doing? We're not running any double teams at Kevin Durant. We're not giving him different looks defensively. The fact that he's still playing one-on-one in the fourth quarter blows my mind. Number 2, Giannis, your reigning defensive player of the year. PJ Tucker, you have been great all series long. You've carried the load. Get the hell out of the way. It's my time to guard the best player in the world right now when I need to. And the last thing, James Harden is out there playing on one leg. I give him so much credit in the world, Greeny, 46 minutes. But why didn't the Milwaukee Bucks attack him defensively? He could barely move. We knew he could barely move from the first possession of the game. That was something that was a complete miss on their part. He should have been attacked every possession. A huge miss by the Bucks.
Now, those are all outstanding insights and an incredibly dramatic night. And so I'll finish it with this. Are the Nets now going to win this series?
I'm still going to pick Milwaukee to win this series. I still am. I mean, James Harden, they're going to go back and get one in Milwaukee. Now, whether they can close it out, I guess I'm going to take the Bucks, but I honestly don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to go against Kevin Durant. Could he put another performance like this together in a Game 7? Yes, he could. I mean, obviously, he proved that he could do it there.
All right, what a performance. And again, KJZ, every weekday morning on ESPN Radio, we're just getting rolling. Thank you, Jay.
Man, one man can't beat 5. Guess we were wrong.
In that case, we were. So we have that to begin. And then we have this, Aaron Rodgers, the biggest story of the NFL offseason, taking another turn yesterday. Now, you're aware of the details. Over the weekend, Packers president Mark Murphy making some eyebrow-raising comments at an event at Lambeau Field, in which he said, and the big money quote of it all as he led up to it was, with Aaron Rodgers, he is a, quote, complicated fella. Those are the words that jumped out. So yesterday, on a golf Zoom, Aaron Rodgers sort of responded.
Yeah, it's been one of those quiet off seasons you just dream about, where you can just kind of go through your process on your own quietly, and that's all you can ask for as an older player in the league and someone who's been around for a long time and just enjoys that time to yourself, to just relax, to not be bothered, to not have any obligations or anything going on. And I think that's what this off season's been about. It's been about really enjoying my time and spending it where I want to spend it, and not feeling like I have to go anywhere, not having any responsibilities, but still being an NFL player.
I mean, the passive aggressiveness is just delightful, and you couldn't quite see it in that shot. But the T-shirt he's wearing said, "I'm offended." Jeff Saturday, your reaction?
That's the guy I know from Green Bay. Man, passive-aggressive at its best, right? I'm offended, taking little jabs. It's been such a relaxing offseason, Greeny. I've been to Hawaii with my fiance. I've hung out with my boys. I've done a little football when I felt like it. I don't do it when I don't feel like it. This is what it's all about. This is the life I'm living right now. It's my best life. So I love the comedy of this whole situation. Everybody says, don't talk about it in the public. Oh, he's a complicated fella. Here's my response. It just goes back and forth. You can just see this thing continue to build instead of getting dissolved. It is a just travesty to watch this thing play out if you're a Green Bay Packer fan. I can assure you of that.
I agree with you, and I'll come back to you on that thought. But Mike T, I'm wondering, as you're watching that, what thoughts are going through your mind?
Yeah, he's easily aggrieved, and I agree with Jeff. There's a lot of rhetoric going on, and we're in a situation now where there's, let's face it, increased sensitivity on both sides. Unfortunately, I've been there where everything is heightened. But come on, you're the league MVP, and what Mark Murphy said was inappropriate and certainly wasn't productive. But let's compare that with what happened with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford goes in, sees the Lions ownership. They were able to get something done quickly and quietly. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers, just take the high road. You're an all-time great. You're the league MVP. You've been to back-to-back Final Fours. You're not offended. You're just trying to work out a business transaction.
Well, it's interesting because, I don't know that he doesn't think he's taking the high road. It's a complicated matter. And Graziano, one of the things that complicates it, as Mike T is talking about, every other NFL team has an owner, has someone that you could go into, a boss who you could go into and say, look, I've got this issue here, let's work it out. Robert Kraft, Jerry Jones, we all know who they are. In Green Bay, they don't have that, so there's no one, if you will, to sort of be the referee in this dispute.
Right, and Mark Murphy fills that role in Green Bay, right? But
he's the one saying Aaron's a complicated fellow.
He's the one. Look, this is it's the high road is empty. There's nobody. There's no cars on the high road. And honestly, the reason this is so great, for us, is if the script writers for Real Housewives of Green Bay couldn't have written this, because every single turn of it, Aaron Rodgers is keenly aware of how he is perceived in public. You know that when he put that T-shirt on yesterday, it was intentional. Look, I'm coming in here. I think about what shirt I'm going to wear. Right? He knows he's going to be on camera. He knows how people are going to react, and that's what's going on right now. It's a back and forth. Neither side feels like it's actively working toward a solution. I know the Packers have said that they are, and they've flown out there to talk to him and all that, but right now, it doesn't seem like one is anywhere close.
So, Jeff, and we talk about the drama. It sort of is. Real Housewives of Green Bay is a pretty good way of painting the soap opera this is. So what do you see happening here, Jeff? How is this thing going to play out?
I think ultimately it's going to get to the season, and Aaron, as the competitor, wants to play. I think he's going to play, and I don't think he's going to come through training camp. I think all that will wait, but I think ultimately when it gets down to it, he wants to prove to everybody again, I'm the MVP. I'm going to be the MVP again this year. Jordan Love's going to steal the bench. I'm going to throw their plans in the trash can once again. It will build his brand, his persona even more, and I think he loves that. I think ultimately that's what he's waiting on. Come in, be the white knight, be the hero, go lead the Packers to a Super Bowl, hopefully, and then ultimately just tell the Packers, look, here's what your thoughts and plans were. I'm crushing your dreams and embarrassing you in public.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Dan Graziano said right now that the high road is open. There's going to be a massive traffic jam sometime around Labor Day when there's going to be some inflection point and the worm's going to turn if Green Bay says, hey, we're not trading you, that if you want to play football this year, you're going to play as a Packer, or as Carson Palmer did a couple decades ago, you're going to sit out the year. Because, again, if you're Green Bay, this is important. Your draft choice compensation is in next year's draft. So if I'm running the Packers, my deadline is really April of 2022, and I'm going to do everything within reason to convince them to play. So we could put on T-shirts, we could go to Hawaii, but around Labor Day, the competitor view, as Jeff alluded to, if you want to play ball, it's as a Packer.
That's a really good point. Dan, put a ribbon on this for us here. The next inflection point really is training camp.
It is. And remember, during the CBA negotiations last year, Aaron Rodgers kind of took over one of the meetings, and one of his arguments was he wanted the CBA to make sure the off-season program didn't start till August 1st. So this is a guy who never wanted to go to off-season minicamp in the first place.
That's right.
If we get to training camp, obviously, yes, we could be in a situation where this turns, and he could show up, as angry as he may be.
Kevin Durant and Aaron Rodgers is where we begin today. Lots of superstars in the news, and we're just getting started. Coming up, we will go back to that performance of the night. Has KD